I live and work in New York City as a teacher. The summer just started, and I decided to book a rental home to relax for a solo vacation that I planned on staying at for 5 days. My job can be rather demanding and mentally exhausting at times, so I wanted to make sure I started off my summer in a relaxing way, a solo, quiet trip to the countryside. I booked a rental home in the woods of Pennsylvania. It had great reviews, and from the pictures, it looked exactly like what I was looking for. I decided to make a road trip of it, and I rented a car, then hit the road. When I arrived to the home, it looked exactly like the photos. The owner left instructions on how to access the key box. I walked around the home, and everything looked amazing. It was a 3-bedroom cabin type of home, a little bit modern, with a deck, hot tub, fire pit, and some more cool stuff in the backyard. The front of the house had a large porch with some chairs and tables. The closest neighbors were about a half a mile away, so they weren't too far, but they weren't too close either, and that's just what I needed. I wanted to be able to sit outside in peace without being bothered. After I did my walk around, I unloaded my suitcase and got settled in. On the first day, I went to the local grocery store, cooked some food, got in the hot tub, and went to bed early. The next morning, I got up, made my matcha tea latte, and headed to the front door so that way I can sit on the porch and relax in one of the chairs and enjoy the morning. As I was drinking my tea, I noticed some dirt on the porch that looked like boot prints, but I couldn't really tell for sure. I thought to myself maybe I had tracked the dirt onto the porch last night when I came in, but the prints looked a little large. Eventually, I brushed it off and went about my day. I just figured that I had tracked the dirt on the porch. I spent the day reading in the hot tub, sitting outside, meditating. I was able to take a nap, and I just overall was really enjoying myself. It was nice to get away from the hustle and bustle of the city life for just a little while. Later that night, I was watching TV and I heard what sounded like creaks on top of the roof. It was loud enough to make me turn down the TV. It almost sounded like an animal or something was walking on the roof. After listening for about 5 minutes, I walked outside, flashed my phone flashlight up on the roof to see if I saw anything. Now, mind you, I couldn't get all the way up on the roof, but I did back up a pretty good amount of ways on the driveway and flashed my light up on the roof, but I didn't see anything. I just went back in the house and I thought to myself, I'm so used to noises all day and all night living in the city that I just needed to get used to being in peace and quiet, and this was a little bit of an older house. The next day, I had a group hike that I booked that I was so excited for. I packed my stuff and headed out that morning to meet the group around 6 a.m. The hike was just what I needed. While on the hike, I met 2 other women that were staying in the area as well. Their names were Pam and Luna. Turns out Pam was from New York City as well, and Luna was from New Jersey. They were in the area on solo mini vacations as well. The hike was amazing. The 3 of us stuck together pretty much the entire time, and by the time we finished up the hike, we determined that we should probably hang out that evening as well. These ladies were so fun, and it was really cool hanging out with them. I offered for everyone to meet at my rental house because it was pretty big. I had the deck, grill, fire pit, hot tub, so everyone agreed. The ladies made plans to come over that evening around 7 p.m. I arrived back to the cabin around 2 p.m. When I walked in, I could hear slight noises on the roof again near the living room. I looked up at the ceiling and noticed that it needed a little bit of work. I saw some small light brown spots that indicated that maybe at one time or another there had been a roof leak. I knew that there wasn't an animal or anything on the roof because I had just pulled up to the house and I didn't see anything. I decided to just go ahead, take a shower, and head off to the grocery store so that way I could get some things for dinner that evening when the ladies came over. Later that evening, Luna knocked on the door and arrived with a few bottles of wine, and Pam was right behind her 20 minutes later with cake and jello shots. We hung out on the back deck, cooking, playing music, drinking wine, and just having an amazing girls' time. We were in the backyard for most of the evening. Pam got up to use the bathroom at some point, and when she came back out, she asked me if I heard any noises coming from the ceiling. I told her absolutely yes, I had been hearing noises for the last couple of days. I couldn't figure out what it was, and I told her that I just figured the house was older and, those noises happen. She agreed, and we continued to enjoy our night. Later in the night, when we were wrapping up, we were cleaning up the kitchen, and all of a sudden we heard a crash in the living room. We ran in there to find that part of the roof in the living room had caved in, but there was an older man lying on the ground that fell out of the roof. We all started screaming. I grabbed my phone to call 911. We all ran out of the house into the driveway near our cars because, mind you, there should not have been anyone in that house at all. The 911 operator said that police were on the way, and they asked me to stay on the line. Me, Luna, and Pam continued to just stare at the house from the driveway to see if the man that fell from the roof would come out the front door, but he never did. About 5 minutes later, 2 police cars pulled into the driveway. Upon entering the house, the officers found a man, and it was the guy that fell through the roof. He was still lying on the ground, but he was alive and he was actually able to talk. An ambulance came, and me and Luna and Pam gave our police statements. Turns out the man that fell from the roof, which was actually the addict, was the host/homeowner. The noise I was hearing for those couple of days was the man staying in the attic the entire time without me knowing. I couldn't believe it. There was water damage in the attic, and so the roof finally caved in. From what it looked like, he would rent the home and not tell guests that he would be in the attic. They also found peepholes in the ceiling that he would use to spy on guests. He was arrested when he got out of the hospital, and the rental company that listed the home issued a full refund and banned the host permanently.